I got this comment on another one of my videos this week, and it really got me thinking. And it says, but when you learn licks in isolation, it's hard to fit them into your solo without it sounding awkward. Some licks are only good because they were previously developed by the soloist. And I totally agree with that. A lot of people use jazz licks as copy and paste ideas to throw into their solos, and as a result, it sounds awkward, doesn't sound natural, and it doesn't sound musical. So in today's video, I'm going to be going over how I believe you should learn jazz licks and how to use them effectively in your jazz solos. Let's do this thing. What's up, Brent here from LearnJazzStandards.com, which is a blog, a podcast, and videos all geared towards helping you become a better jazz musician. Hey, make sure you subscribe to this channel at the button below if you've never done that before. Now, learning licks, in my opinion, is a great way to learn micro pieces of jazz language, and we need to learn jazz language over different chord progressions to start understanding how to speak the jazz language. So I don't think we should discard learning licks at all. I think it's really important to our jazz practice. However, like I said, when used as a copy and paste ideas over top of chord progression, when you're actually at a gig or a jam session, well, it's not going to sound very good. It's not going to sound very musical. It's going to sound really forced. And ultimately, we do not want that. So I've come up with my lit method for learning licks and actually using them and applying them in your solos. So let's go over that right now. Now, L stands for learn. Obviously, we have to start by learning a lick. So I always suggest go to a recording over a tune you're learning or whatever it is you happen to be working on at the time. Find a lick that you really like, a musical idea that you really like, and learn it. So in my particular example today, I have learned this particular lick. All right, so after I've learned this particular idea, now it's really important for me to figure out where it comes from. So I want to figure out what chord progressions it's over top of. Well, I happen to pull this from a rhythm changes chord progression, and after a little bit of analysis and looking into it, I've come to the conclusion that it is over a 3-6-2-5 chord progression. Okay, this is in concert C for my example today. And then after this, I want to do a little bit more analysis, like what's really going on here. So it starts out really by outlining this E minor, and then it approaches the third of the A7, so it's a dominant 7/6 chord, and then it hits the sharp 9, okay, landing on the third of the D minor, which is the 2 chord, basically a copy of the last lick there, the last section of the lick, to the G7, the third of the G7, and the flat 9, and then resolving to the third of the C. I mean, it sounds great. It's a great lick. It outlines the chord changes. Awesome. I love the idea. I want to incorporate this into my playing. So that brings us to the step number 2, which is internalize. Now, if you've watched my videos before, or you listen to my podcast, or follow me on my blog, you know that I preach learning licks, learning things in all 12 keys as the best way to really internalize jazz language and to really open up your abilities on your instrument in general. So what I would do is I would start taking this into all 12 keys. So I know how to play it now in concert C, but what about concert F? Okay, so that's just going through the circle of force. That's my particular way I like to go through all 12 keys. And then I would go to concert B flat. So by doing this and going through this process, I'm really learning to hear this lick in different keys. I'm really learning how to play it all over my instrument, no matter what instrument you play. And therefore, by the time I'm done with this, I'm going to know this lick really well. Now, this leads me to a very important step, and that is T, which is transform. Now, this is the part where you start getting creative and you start making this lick your own, because like we talked about before, we don't want to copy and paste this lick over top of different chord progressions. It's going to sound contrived. So now we want to start getting creative and using this lick as inspiration to create our very own musical ideas. So I'm just going to play around for a second with this idea and see if I can come up with some other ideas myself. So in that case, I just kind of started on a different note than the one before, and already I'm starting to get some more ideas here. Let's try something else. I like that one. So in this case, I'm kind of targeting a flat 13, but I'm still landing on that third, so I'm kind of getting that idea from the lick. And I'm still landing on the third on the C, I'm just sort of doing it an octave lower. Maybe let's try one more idea. So I could spend hours just messing with this lick, experimenting with it, taking the key components of it and making it my own. And by doing this, I'm really starting to practice improvisation and simply taking the concepts and the ideas from the lick so that hopefully this stuff is going to seep into my consciousness and come out in my playing when I'm actually in a performance situation. So here's what I want to hear from you. How do you learn jazz licks in an effective way so that it becomes an integral part of your jazz solos? Please leave that in the comments below. And hey, by the way, if you're really trying to get an idea of how to improve your jazz skills quickly, if you have not done so before, please sign up for my absolutely free Accelerate Your Jazz Skills free mini course. It's a great course. A lot of people have gone through it, and I know you're going to benefit from it as well. Go to accelerateyourjazzskills.com. And here's a really quick rhythm exercise. I've did this on another video, but I want to make sure you're getting your rhythm exercise in today. And set your metronome for beats 2 and 4. And I want you to hit that like button at the bottom of this video on the and of 2. Okay, on the and of 2. That's when I want you to hit the like button and get your rhythm practice in. Okay, so that's all for today. Thanks for watching the video. Hope you enjoyed it. Make sure you subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.